Welcome back, viewers. Today my guest is Dr. Jag Mohan, Senior Vice President, TBT Engineering Limited, and Saurabh Said Ali, who is a Lakehead University PhD candidate. And we are on Asian Vibes, and our topic of discussion today is professionals across borders. Dr. Mohan, you're an engineer, and I want to use this time to tell us about, there are so many engineering disciplines, chemical, electrical, mechanical, civil. What is the market saying today? What is the Canadian market? What is the global market saying? What is the engineering profile or discipline that is in demand today?
Jobs in engineering profession follow the sine curve, right? So it's critical that you always look at what you are going to prepare yourself for. For example, if you're a new student coming into a university or a college program, don't look at the job market today. What will be 4 years or 5 years from now, because that's when you are going to be actually employed.
Look at the projections.
So look at the projection. One of the things I normally would like the potential students or parents to look at, especially if they want their sons and daughters to be engineers, is there is an engineering labor market study conducted by Engineers Canada, and this is the document that you can probably download. It actually not only talks about what is happening now, but it projects the trend up to 2025. So what is critical for the students and parents and even potential immigrants coming into this country is look at what the job market is. Almost all engineering professions go through the cycle. That's why it's better to choose a multidisciplinary consulting engineering firm wherein you will always have opportunities in multiple sectors. For example, if civil engineering is not the field at this point of time for employment, maybe mechanical and electrical engineering is up.
That goes across various
So basically,
sectors,
I think most of the companies are diversifying so that they are multidisciplinaries. And even as an engineer, normally if you start with a bachelor's program, of course you are going to go through a lot of liberal arts courses and generic courses for the first couple of years. And only in the last year and a half you really get some core expertise. But still, when you come out as a bachelor's degree holder, you're a generalist in engineering. Of course, you can get into a job and then navigate yourself into what the job offers and then become specialized in that area. For example, in civil engineering, you could be a structural engineer, you could be a geotechnical engineer, you could be a transportation engineer.
These are specialized
That's right. So when you graduate as a civil engineer, you are still a generalist. So I normally suggest people nowadays anyway to do a master's program with some specialization so that you can probably offer a core expertise to a client even if you become an entrepreneur or if you are going to be in a specific division in a company. So the labor market currently is good for engineers, but again, in some cities and some provinces, it is more than others. For example, oil and energy sector was doing very well in Alberta and Saskatchewan, but now suddenly that is a challenge. So in areas like this, we have transportation sector doing very well. But if you go to Southern Ontario, building sector is doing very well. So you have to choose the appropriate engineering profession and also try to expand your knowledge by doing some continuing education credits so that you have breadth and depth at the same time.
So definitely mining and forestry would be there for a while now, especially mining?
With the ring of fire opportunities still in the oven, hopefully for those that are entering the market, it will be an ideal one. You have to remember, those that are 21st millennium born children, they are still not in the universities yet.
Not yet, yes.
And the jobs that they will be working on when they graduate probably is not even known. So the trends that are projected in the engineering profession is based on the current data, but as it happened in the 80s in the internet revolution, suddenly we may have some technological revolution that may change the direction within the next 10 to 15 years. But you must be prepared to adopt the change.
Right, there's so many new emerging trends, biomedical, biochemical, I mean all these are becoming more and more specialized and
lots of hyphenated professions are happening. So basically, that basically shows you have the core profession and you have the sub profession, and they have to have the blended knowledge in order to either do research or work in an engineering company or continue on with the academic profession.
I feel that the science the science is of course is paramount. You have to have science behind everything, but science has to be at point applied. Unless and until it is used by the industry, it should be interdisciplinary and applied.
Yes.
That makes sense.
But unfortunately, in my travel to India and then integrating some of the students in here, most of the Indian universities and colleges or polytechnics, they prepare students for in a linear mode. But when they come here, they realize they have to have a global appreciation. That's why when I was the Dean of Engineering, I make sure that the curriculums is globalized, so that when students take a course, they not only look at what happens in their local area,
Right.
but how it is done elsewhere. By having that global vision, the students also will have an appreciation to position themselves in whatever discipline they want to be.
We have in LU a course called International Forestry. So you're not only studying about the forestry scene here, but you also see, because these are all very, the value chain across is now across borders, right?
Yeah.
With the potential for export market
Yeah,
and
exactly.
the way the borderless economy is going, you need to basically look at how economy drives the professions and professions drive the
exactly,
economy at the same time.
Sir, if you wanted to add something?
Exactly. I actually go with Dr. Jag Mohan, but the problem comes the syllabus of the education system and everywhere it may be same.
Yeah.
But for example, in India, what bachelors is like, there are 3 years bachelors and 4 years bachelors as well. But when we come to Canada, that won't be considered. The 3 years bachelors won't be considered as bachelors here. So that will be like a 4 years bachelors would be considered as bachelors. So as of my part is like, I did 3 years bachelors and 2 years masters. So that is considered as only 4 years bachelors here, and masters would be considered as only 1 year masters. So
I guess we need global courses now,
yes,
universally global
exactly. So
courses.
the students have to
especially
come
for-
here and take another course to
Yeah.
cover up that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially for
It has always
engineering
been a
mentor.
challenge.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's
from
been a challenge, yeah.
It has always been a challenge to assess foreign credentials across the
yes.
board. That's
Exactly.
why associations like Professional Engineers Ontario and Engineers Canada are working with Ministry of Citizenship and Immigration to somehow identify what are the equivalents, comparative education and whatnot. But I think nothing beats them working here or even doing at least a master's or another additional credential here for them to appreciate the local codes and regulations and whatnot.
Thank you, Dr. Mohan and Swaroop. Thank you so much for your insights and for this very informative discussions on how to choose the right profession, looking at the economy and the market and the country that you plan to go and settle. So there's so many challenges, but yeah, a little bit of homework and talking to people, mentorship, internship would help, right?
Yeah, when you
Thank you.
marry to a profession, you have to be a professional without borders nowadays. So you have to serve the entire globe.
Citizens and global citizens and global professionals.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your
Thank you.
time, Dr. Jag Mohan and Swaroop.
Thank
you
you for
so
having us.
much.
Thank you for having
Dear
us.
viewers, on that note, we'll wrap up this edition of Asian Vibes. Stay tuned for more. Visit the Shaw TV channel, Shaw TV channel 10, Facebook page for more updates. And this program is all about the multicultural sounds and sides of the Asian community in Thunder Bay. So till we meet again, stay well, stay healthy, stay safe.